cool find today. Nice vintage Lego set in the box, missing its lid. I actually used this when I was negotiating with the guy. I didn't know what he wanted to charge, but he started off as like, you and I both know there's $80 worth of pieces here. And I was kind of like, yes, but they're all basic pieces, and basic pieces in these sets don't tend to be worth a ton of money. Like, people really like to have the minifigures, and the sets with minifigures are the ones that can actually drive a lot of, or can be quite high in price. So I was like, you know what? It's missing its lid. It's all basic pieces. And I've picked up one like this, and you can see my other video, set 125, and we'll talk about the benefits that this set has to that, and sort of the differences, compare and contrast the sets. They're about 2 years apart. This set is a 1976 set. Funnily enough, it goes down in number. The set 125 was the 1974 set. But yeah, the benefit of this is, one of the benefits for that set is I was missing a few pieces. This set does have those pieces. This set actually has some more interesting surprises. I've sort of looked through it a little bit. I haven't looked through it in detail. I've got the list, the full set inventory. So we'll go through and see how close it was, but a vague looking at it. It did seem to have roughly the right pieces, and they are of the right era. So that's kind of cool. It also had a few surprises that definitely weren't part of this set. One was this sink with this tap. This is part of sets at the time that featured the I call them maxi figs, the larger minifigures that were just preceded the minifigure. So this set's 1976. Minifigure was coming out in a year or two, and took the world by storm. These ones were just okay. The previous set, the 125, that was 1974, didn't even have any figures except for ones that were built out of bricks. So this is sort of an interesting transition period, the transition between no figures to first iteration of figures to minifigures. This is sort of right in the middle there. And so this is kind of interesting from that point of view. So I'm happy to have this sink. I didn't have this sink. It's got a drawer, and it comes in a set with these sort of larger figures. I think there's a kitchen set or something like that. So I'm happy to have that. There's also another surprise, definitely not from the era, a black Stormtrooper, but I mean, a minifigure is a minifigure. And the other surprise was a white classic space minifigure. No head, no tanks, but the logo is actually pretty nice. The gold on top is nice. The gold on the bottom is a little bit scratched. But I happen to have tanks and a smiley face. That one's a little loose. I have another one here that's hopefully better. Oh, they're both a little loose. That might then just be the neck is a little loose. And a helmet, it's got a crack in it. But now I have a complete white classic space minifigure out of this. And this did not come in that set. This, again, I said was 2 years before minifig, but some really nice bonus pieces on top of it. So just a quick look at what else it has. They're supposed to have about 3 of these larger initial figures, and it's got about 4. It does have pieces of the right era. These transparent pieces are part of the set. This bucket is part of the set, and this tree is part of the set. Can just sort of compare it to set 125 in size, so it's a little bit bigger. The pieces, it has 258 pieces compared with 233 pieces for the set 125, which is 2 years earlier. You can see it has the sort of figure built of bricks. It doesn't have the other style Lego figures, these kind of style Lego figures. And yeah, and the pieces that I was missing here that I will be able to replace was, I used a yellow 1x6x3 window, and this one has the red one that is part of that set, so I got that. And also I used a more modern one of the 2x10s, in red, and this that now has a period, you know, that has the patent pending and all that sort of stuff on it, and no numbers. So that's complete. The final thing I was missing for the set 125 was a white door and a white frame, and I don't see that here, but I haven't actually taken everything out and taken a look. So still, you know, the good thing about this is it manages to actually get the other set really close to completion. We'll see how complete this is, but also super happy to have this box. I love having boxes of this era. They just kind of look good, and they're really kind of classic. You can see set 40 there. This is a list. Actually, this looks like, oh, this is a list of patents. So this is all the patents that are for all the pieces in this set, and the different countries too. So they have the patent numbers for all the different countries. So it says one or more of the elements contained in this box are subject to one or more of the following patents and design registrations. So this is just trying to protect themselves, but really complicated because it looks like they had to patent it in many, many countries. That's kind of cool. Set 40 again, we've sort of seen this side, and see if we can see, without tipping the pieces out, let me get it so it's upright, see what the bottom looks like. And so you get sort of like ideas of things that you could build out of this set, which is really cool. So I'm gonna pull it out and off camera, and I will then kind of show you where we're at for how complete this set is and what pieces are there. Pieces are a little dirty, so I'll also probably at some point wash it, but I also will not do that on camera. I can tell you my method. My method is I use like lingerie bags to contain the pieces, and then I just dip them in dish soap, sort of swish them around a lot, and then it usually takes several days to dry. I'll sort of put out towels on flat surfaces and then put the pieces on that and actually make sure they're spread out enough, and sometimes tap out the water that can get into the tubes of the pieces. And it'll take a couple days to dry, but that seems to work pretty well. All right, so I will get into it. I will see what pieces, how complete this set is. Again, I've looked a little bit, it looks roughly, and plus some extras. Some of those plates are definitely not part of the set. So be back in a minute. Okay, let's see how we did. So the figures kind of are broken up into a few things. We do have the black here. We are short, we've got one full arm, which is these two things, and we're missing an arm. And I don't think that is anywhere else. So that would be something that would have to be, yep, there's not a black arm anywhere else. So that'd have to be something that would need to be replaced. We got our 4 black bricks. We've got 4 of the 2x2s. We've got 2 of the 2x3s. We've got 8 of the black 2x4s. We've got only 1 of the wheels. We have, this is for the bricks that can take wheels. So we have 1, 2, 3, and a couple more black ones here, although it claims that there should be red wheels holder. I don't know what that means, but there are some that have red on the inside and others that just have black. So I don't know if they're different. It's supposed to be different, or they're supposed to be the red ones, but we do have 4. We have this headpiece. We also have the hat headpiece on a figure over there. We only have 1 2x3 black plate instead of 3. We have 4 of the, we definitely have the tires. We have the tires on here, and we have the tires on the black here. This piece was without tires, but there's 2 tires here. But we are missing, we were supposed to have 2 of those, we only have 1. We definitely have all the big black tires. You can sort of see there's some here and some here. This is for the wheel piece there. So kind of put them together. But we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 out of 8 of these style tires. We have the blue figure top piece. He's got 2 of these, but none of these, so his arms are short. He would need to replace those. 4 of the blue 1x2s, 2 of the 1x8s. We do not have a blue 2x10. We have other colors of 2x10. Yeah, this blue piece just fell off here. We have the 8 2x2 blues. We have the 4 2x3 blues. We have the 12 2x4 blues. We have a blue door. We do not have a 4x8 plate, but we do have the 6x14 plate. We've got the 2 toe ball sockets and receiver. We've got 2 slope peaks. We've got only 1 of the longer slope peaks. We've got 4 of the 2x3 slopes. We've got all 12 of the 4x3 slopes. We've got only 1 of the, and those are the 33-degree slopes. Then we've got only 1 of the 45-degree slopes. Only 2 of the inverse blue. Sorry, I just spotted 3 of the inverse blue out of 4. We've got all the shutters. We don't have this hair, actually. I looked for that hair, but we don't have it. We have the big green plate over here. We have the tree. We do not have the antenna. That is a shame, but those antennas were very fragile. They would break a lot. I think I have one that's mostly complete, but maybe missing a few of these that I could potentially place here, but yeah, those don't survive often, so not super surprising. I've got 8 of the red 1x2s. I've got 8 of the red 2x2s. I've got 4 of the red 2x3s. I've got all of the red 2x4s. I've got the long one. I've got the shutters. I've got the door frame in red. I'm missing the male digger bucket connector. I've got the hinge, the small hinge plate, but I don't have the bigger hinge plate. I do not have that red cap, only a black one. No 4x10 plate, but I do have the 6x10. Again, I threw a bunch of the wheels here that were still together. I do have at least 8 of those wheels. 2 of those windows, 2x2 windows, 2 of the 4x4 windows, 2 transparent 2x2s, 4 transparent 2x4s. I do have a white one of those with full arms, which is good. I've got 4 of the 1x2s. I do not have the long one, white 1x8. I have 2 of the 2x3s. I've got all of the white 2x4s. I do not have any white fences, but I do have red ones. I have 1 of the windows. I don't have the larger window in white. I do have extras in red. I've got all of the, or actually it looks like 7 out of 8 of the yellow bricks there. 2 of the yellow 1x6s, all of the, or 7 out of 8 of the, actually I do have another yellow brick there. So I have all of the 2x2 yellows, 2 out of 4 of the 2x3 yellows, and 20 yellows. Actually, I didn't finish that. I do have a bunch more, but it doesn't look like 20. I have the digger bucket. I have the head pieces, although some of them are, got a few. They're supposed to be 3, but some of them are potentially, well, I actually don't know if they're female except for their heads. So got 4, and there's only supposed to be 3. So some bonus ones. I've only got 1 out of 2 yellow plates, 4x6. I only have 3 out of 6 hands. You can see there in these figures. I have the 4 of the 45-degree slopes and 2 out of 2 of the yellow slopes. Here's the sort of bonus extra cool pieces. Here are the pieces that are left after doing all that. So there's still tons of extra pieces, which is amazing. A couple more here. Those 2 gray pieces are not part of this set, so lots of other pieces of the era, which would be great for completing, if I find another set like this, would be great completing. I got a bunch of windows, a bunch of white plates, a bunch of beams, lots more 2x4s. You can see there's the yellows there, but I have only one yellow there, and there's probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 yellows. So need another 15 yellow 2x4 bricks. And here's the requisite. There actually is still 2 mega blocks here. So kind of interesting that there's still mega blocks. There's still some, like, one modern stormtrooper, but yet most of the set seems to be here. Most of the set, you know, I mean, it's still missing a lot more than the other set. Will take a bit to restore, but have a good chunk and bonus pieces too, which will make it easier to restore the next set. It's nice to have a variety of those windows, even though there's a whole bunch of red windows and there's only this many in this set. So that's super awesome. Good find. I'm not sure if I said, but I talked the guy down to $15. Actually, I said $15 after he sort of said, you and I know they're both worth, there's $80 worth of pieces. And I was expecting him to counter with 20. I was shooting for around 20. I probably maybe would have gone to 25 if I had to, but he just accepted the 15, which was, I was surprised because he was sort of, you know, talking a good talk at first, and he didn't counter when I offered 15. So all in all, good deal. Also interesting because it's 2 years after the other set. It has larger figures. It's got all vintage pieces, and it's got extra spares. If I get another set like this, I'll have lots more spares to complete it. So I will try and find in my other collection, see if I can get it a bit more complete. There's some pretty easy pieces to find. The hardest one would be the white antenna. Everything else isn't too bad, although it might be tricky to get some of the vintage plates. But all in all, for $15, this was a fantastic deal and a really interesting addition to my collection. It fits into a nice slot. Just a bulk set, just pre minifig release. And yeah, please subscribe and like, and let me know if this was interesting or if I could do something different. Thank you very much for watching, and see you later.